Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gifts, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee. You sure? It's cultist coffee. What makes it cultist coffee? I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it. Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Hey, good morning, everyone. What do you know here? The stream started on time. I got everything started on time here. Oh, I am might be a little bit syncing some major files, so I might be a little bit pixelated at the moment, but I bet that I will fix that on my side. We'll see if that works here in just a moment. I've got major files syncing that shouldn't be. Hello, Zero the Blade, and good morning. Oh, James Bacon, that is true. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Do remember that. I've got to call my father. I need to arrange to do something, but it can't be today. But yes, everyone, please remember it is Father's Day. Thank you for that reminder. In fact, I'm going to write a reminder over here. Remember, it's Father's Day. Yes. So, stream started on time. I didn't get up the way that I should have. It's still not working, but at least I started the stream on time this morning. And as you can see, video is back. I hope that you all enjoyed the stream yesterday with RM. We did the Cultist Season 2 watch party, and it was a lot of fun. If you didn't see that, look up the Cultist Season 2 watch party on the Burnett Work or on her channel, Positive Fandom. I had a really great time with that. I hope some other channels want to do some watch parties like that, because I think it adds something to it to be able to have a watch party that you can actually watch on the stream. So that was great. I also got notification yesterday that the Goodnight Sword books that I need to sign have shipped. So ordinarily, once they actually get to shipping, they get here pretty quickly. They're coming by UPS. So they should actually be here pretty quickly. Often I found that by the time I get the shipping notification, they're already actually been on their way, and they show up the next day or something like that. Of course, this is Sunday, so I'm not anticipating that. But I was really hoping I would have had them for this weekend to fulfill the Goodnight Sword Kickstarter. But I also got notification from Kickstarter that they've transferred the money, but the money hasn't actually shown up yet. So it was, so that the money hasn't shown up in the bank account yet. As soon as that does, I will start shipping out the rest of the books that are unsigned. Although some books have already shipped. Melissa on the Kickstarter received hers the other day. She received one of the few signed copies that I've already sent out. She had so she's already received hers. So there are copies that are out in the mail. Zero reminded me, so we all need them apparently. Yes, we all need reminders. Can't forget that. I hope work went well yesterday. But anyway, so money will be incoming, I guess, this week then, and also books are incoming this week, so I'll be shipping all of that out. And then we got to move on to other projects, and I've been thinking a lot about that, and I'm supposed to have a meeting at the end of this week about projects for the rest of this year and all of next year. I got to get moving on projects, otherwise nothing's ever going to get done. Need more productivity. So today, because I was like, what are we going to look at this morning? I've got the Rivers of London solo play that I still want to do. I still want to do Rivers of London solo play, but I've been looking for it to be kind of a reward. When I'm back up and I'm working and I feel like I've gotten 3 hours and I have done 3 hours of good work in the morning, I'm going to reward myself with that. And it's still, so I kind of feel like doing it, but I was saving that as a reward, so I'm not. But yesterday, this book came up. And people seemed to be interested in it, this FlexTale solo adventuring toolkit. And wait, James says, James says, yes, I gave you my new address for shipping, but I haven't seen here anything in a few days. Well, maybe. James, I believe I have shipped yours. I shipped it to the address that was in the Kickstarter survey. Hope that's the right address. I shipped it to the Kickstarter survey address. Anyway, but this book came up yesterday, and I have been looking for a reason to look into it. And so we were talking about solo play the other day, and perhaps the need for an oracle, or perhaps co-op play. It is raining and thunderstorming outside, if you hear that. And if my power goes out, well, that's why. But anyway, we were thinking about how to structure games, and I just had the idea that maybe if you had different kinds of game structures, like horror or adventure or action, which is why we were looking at GURPS Action the other day for the past 2 days, and then you had a structure and an oracle, then maybe you could do either a solo play or a cooperative gameplay. And this thing right here was something that somebody, I believe on the stream, recommended to me. That's why I have this book. I don't know why. I guess somebody recommended, and then I just went and got it. And it came out as like this gigantic encyclopedia worth of book. I mean, this is a gigantic book here on solo play. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't even gotten into it because it's such a mammoth book. So actually I thought, well, based on what we were talking about this time, I still have other RPGs I want to do deep dives into. Let me turn on the auxiliary camera, go auxiliary camera. But I thought, hey, maybe this would just be a good day to at least see what is in this solo toolkit. There we go. Let me turn on this light over here. That's probably better. Oh, okay. The survey address is correct. Okay. Phew. Okay. Excellent. The the Last Phoenix, excuse me, the Last Phoenix says it has 2 Pathfinder logos. Does this mean it's compatible with first edition? Let's see. So it does have, so it's got 5th edition fantasy, OSR, Pathfinder compatible, DCC RPG, Pathfinder role-playing game compatible. I guess that's what that means. Like, this would be the older logo, right? And this is the new one. So I guess let's turn it over to the back and let's see what's on here. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you, Chase Street. Great to have you here. Yes, this is where I've been painting. So it says on the back here, the Solo Adventuring Toolkit. This book aims to be the most complete. Let me move my microphone here, since I'm over on this side now. This book aims to be the most complete, most comprehensive, most innovative authority on solo tabletop role-playing adventuring ever produced. After more than 30 years of gaming, both old school and through today's most popular systems, the Solo Adventuring Toolkit culminates a lifetime's passion for the hobby into a massive volume that can be instantly useful. Well, but when you see this volume, that's why I hadn't gotten into it before. So that's why, I guess probably gonna take some time here. All right. Oh, those are logos first. Well, we will see. I noticed that it did have a quick start, so we're going to start with the quick start because this is a lot. So anyway, after more than 30 years of gaming, it says, both old school through today's most popular systems, the Solo Adventuring Toolkit culminates a lifetime's passion for the hobby into a massive volume that can be instantly useful for any gaming group in any context using any rule system. Although superbly complex, the FTEG SAT, I guess that's, Flex something Adventuring Toolkit, is infinitely flexible and can be used immediately with zero preparation or exhaustive reading beforehand. Its hundreds of tables, tools, and techniques can be used in infinite combination, powering the creation of endless solo adventuring content. Now, my question is, does this have narrative structure too? So we'll see, because that's kind of what I'm concerned about, that you could do it with like an Oracle, or we were talking about Chat GPT. Robert, on our members-only live stream, we had a members-only live stream last Thursday, which was basically like a 3-hour conversation on a whole bunch of different topics. And Robert was here showing off his AI-powered, like Zork-like game that he had created that you can read different worlds into. But my question is, if something like this or something like ChatGPT can create something with a narrative structure, which is something that I'm interested in. Not all, I mean, that's not, I suppose, necessary, because there are a lot of RPGs that don't have a narrative structure, any kind of traditional narrative structure. 10 Candles was kind of different. So this has over 660 tables, each designed to make it simple as rolling a D20 to generate dynamic adventure content. Over 80 flex tables, each one 4 tables in one, with different results, coding, and probabilities based on the circumstances. Over 420 optional rules adjustments, from minor tweaks to house rules to game-changing capabilities that make your solo warrior a truly formidable force. From the straightforward use a bigger hit die for your HP each level to rules guiding the distribution of overkill damage to multiple enemy targets, each rules adjustment contains a balance point handicap that reflects its utility and helps guide its use for your adventuring party. 28 extensively detailed plot templates. Okay, well, that's interesting. I want to check out that. Each with pages of custom tables, rules, and guidelines. Each one can be used to create an infinite variety of quests. Detailed discussions on party composition and multiclassing, both in the context of traditional gaming environment as well as specific to solo adventure settings. Hundreds of content variations recognizing the difficulty difference between OPOC, one player, one character, and OPMC, one player, multiple characters, approaches to solo play. I kind of like the one player, one character, but yeah, okay, I can see some people, then there'd be like, didn't that come up? Who was saying something like, well, when I'm playing multiple characters, maybe that was, I forget who that was, saying that it was more like taking on the role of guild leader. Chase says ChatGPT can do a great job, but it's up to how you ask it questions. I noticed that asking more detailed questions really gives better results. And also using chain of thought reasoning and things like that. I've got to get back to using that more. So dozens of generator tables aimed at making it quick and easy to instantly generate dynamic adventure content, from simple yes, no to what direction the wind is blowing in, to what sort of environment you discover, to the local attitude of an NPC. These are the sorts of generator lists that typically go for $1 a piece as indie RPG books. But here you'll find dozens of them bundled and organized together and linked to the rest of the book's massive trove of content for huge value. A complex but easy-to-use balance point handicap system describing the impact of accumulating beneficial rules adjustments and or upping the challenge for better rewards and imposing restrictions to your party. Hundreds of rewards and penalties and dozens of tables to drive randomization thereof to be received or imposed as consequences for success or failure. Dozens of pages of exhaustive indexes to make finding things you want quick and simple. Well, I hope it is, because if it's not quick and simple to find stuff. Let's see. Simplified Flex AI rules to drive dynamic and interesting creature behavior in combat and in social situations, and much, much more. Well, so there is a lot being promised here. So let's just see. Infinem Game Studios, I noticed this. CEO, I don't know this person, Jay Evans Payne, but I noticed that he's listed as the CEO, creative director, lead editor, marketing, VP of marketing and sales, CFO, and artistic director. So, okay. It says down here, dedication. This book is dedicated to all those in middle school who struggle to find friends at recess, to all those middle-aged grognards who now find it difficult to find time for the hobby they enjoy, and to those who have lost friends and loved ones with whom they have shared their passion. Let's see. We got a forward over here. I didn't see anything about a particular license for this material. So this was a Kickstarter project. This book sets several noteworthy records for Infinem Game Studios. First, it's the most popular Kickstarter project we've launched, with very nearly shy of 500 backers and counting pre-orders over that count. I'm thrilled that there's so much support for this concept. Most delayed project that we've ever worked on, but it's also the densest product. It's the okay. In a very real way, I've been working on this book for probably 30 years. All right, well, let's see. So there is an introduction and then a quick start. I don't know how much. We're probably not going to be able to get through this entire book today. Table of contents condensed. Okay, so what's in here? What's in here is an introduction and then a quick start. So probably we're going to start by looking at that. About solo play approaches, universal solo play techniques. Variants for traditional play, PC roles, solo encounters, solo quests. Maybe those are the different types of quests. Solo quest overview, clues, plot-based solo adventuring, chase quests, slay quests, deliver quests, obtain quests, stop quests. Actually, okay, that sounds like World of Warcraft kind of questing. Hey, Charlie. Balance point handicaps, rules adjustments, rewards, penalties, generators and tools, environmental encounter tables. That's a lot. And then an expanded table of contents. All right, introduction. All right. I got paints. Let's see if I move this stuff. What is this book? This book is intended to do any or all of the following. These are listed in no particular order. A standalone tool used for generating and running solo adventuring campaigns. Inspiration for running a traditional GDM plus players tabletop game. A dynamic content generation tool to quickly create endless quests, dungeon rewards, threats, and other adventure content with zero preparation beforehand. Now, we were talking about that because 10 Candles said do not prepare. It sure would be nice if other games were like that. And they were still good. Either in solo or traditional game environments. A companion to the FlexTale Encounter Generator looks to fuel dynamic solo. A companion to the FlexTale Encounter Generator book to fuel dynamic solo content generation. This book assumes the following. Hey, we just breathe and sip. Let's breathe and sip. Everybody got your favorite beverage this morning? Let's take care of our mental health this morning and focus on our breath. 2 deep breaths, complete exhales, and then take a sip of your favorite beverage this morning. Here we go. There we go. Okay, assumptions. The reader is entering the solo experience with a background in having played traditional tabletop role-playing games, either as a player or as a GM. The reader is not picking up this book as a very first example of pen and paper role-playing experiences. That's probably a bad idea. The reader is in possession of the core rule books and or bare minimum of published materials and resources required to play in the GM one or more of these popular fantasy role-playing games supported by this book. The reader is familiar with the rules of their selected rule systems. The reader is familiar with the basic mechanics of their chosen rule set. The reader is capable of creating their own PCs. Okay, so all of this sounds pretty basic. No matter what reader level of comfort with their chosen system is, they're willing to modify some of those rules as to improve the solo gameplay experience. With that said, however, this book also attempts to do the following. Provide thoughts and guidance on GM-related elements of solo play. Provide tools and ponderings on several aspects of the core rules of the supported systems, particularly as they relate to changing those rules and incorporating elements of rules and other systems to facilitate solo play. Act as a starting point for infinite, dynamic, and easy-to-create adventure content generation. Okay, when to use this book. What this book is not. This book does not contain a full tabletop role-playing game. Okay. Let's see. Okay. GM notes, designer soapbox, variable challenges. I guess. Okay, what is all this? I guess we need to get to the quick start. Although this is still in the introduction. Converting reward stars to XP, stay in character or else. Candy as XP. What experience points and reward nuggets? Quick start. Okay, so what is this? This right here says, I think we're going to have to move to the quick start. But experience points and reward nuggets. There are many ways of calculating, dispersing, and accounting for experience points in a Pathfinder or 5e gaming group. What follows is a method that I have used over the decades, and it's been a lot of fun. Although it may not be for every gaming group, your mileage may vary. It's very interesting spin on traditional methods, and its approach may work for you. Whether this approach works for you or not, however, is worth reading through, because all of the quests in this adventure denote XP rewards using this method. Okay, so we got a new method for XP. Very, very succinctly, this approach involves the following. Instead of granting XP as rewards, grant reward stars, so which is this green thing right here. You know, candy is XP. Well, I guess we'll have to see what candy is over here. If using IGS products, you'll see reward stars listed for each quest. If you're using non-IGS adventures, rolling your own or otherwise at a loss, default to 1 reward star for each challenge overcome. Grant more for difficult situations or grant 0 for common obstacles. In between adventures, PCs convert their reward stars to standard XP and level up as normal. You can switch back and forth between this approach and a traditional XP model anytime you wish. So you convert reward stars to standard XP. Experience. So I want candy. So this says, in the author's early days as a GM, I tossed out candies as rewards to players when their characters did a good job. Candy could be distributed for defeating a kobold, picking a lock, dodging an attack, convincing the castle guard to look the other way, or any other ordinary actions which consequently typically involve experience points. However, I also gave out candy for good role-playing, convincing dialogue, outstanding or horrid, emulation of accents, meta jokes about the circumstances of the game that were truly hilarious, suggesting things to me as the GM or other players that took the story in a new direction, and I have to be honest here, helping me as the GM. My general rule was if I forgot a rule and you pointed out in a way that didn't make you seem like a jerk, then you got a reward. This could be something as innocent as reminding me that your Elf Ranger's longbow was firing +1 arrows, or as significant as reminding me that a certain piece of equipment granted a reroll to a critically failed outcome. Generally speaking, candy rewards were given out in my games for anything, literally anything, that made the player experience more fun. Doorbell rings and the pizza's here, and your character's tied up in the Cyclops cave, so you know you won't be doing anything for a few minutes. So you go and grab the grub, tip the delivery guy, that's worth candy. Tell a joke, that's worth candy. Save the life of your comrade, only to drag him unconscious, only to drug him unconscious and use him as a prop in the manner of Weekend at Bernie's. Okay, that's a little ghoulish, but it's in character and amazing, so 3 candies right there. Okay, so what does that have to do with anything? Candy was awesome, though, for one in my gaming group who was diabetic. It was controlled and mindful awesomeness. But even for the most freewheeling players, once their character level up, I get it. At the end of each gaming session, my players would turn in their candy wrappers. Each wrapper represented something gone right, a good deed, and therefore it was converted to XP. Generally speaking, no matter what the PC's level, no matter what the adventure, 10 candy wrappers meant you advanced to the next level. If you fell short, say you only got 6, then it meant you were closer for the next session. As years went on, it became a bit less practical and or healthy to urge my friends to consume at least 10 pieces of candy every time we got together, and so this approach was tweaked. Instead of candy wrappers, gold stars, or spare dice in a particular color, or Warhammer 40k figurines, the point was you got a token, a nugget reward, which was later converted into XP. Rules lawyers hate this method, and I respect that. Even the most hardened min-maxer eventually recognizes this approach, despite its drawbacks, keeps play flowing quite quickly, and everyone focused on what I believe should be the next goal of the role-playing game session, namely to have fun. Okay, so I guess that the candy as XP became the reward stars. In rare cases or with certain gaming groups, the GM should reserve the right to remove or revoke reward stars of a particular player. Okay. Converting reward stars into XP. That must have been what all these tables we're about to see here is. Each reward star represents different XP depending on what your current level is. If you've assigned reward stars to a particular PC, use the character's current level on the table to convert it to an XP reward. On some occasions, you may instead have granted reward stars to a whole party. In this scenario, calculate average party level and use that on your table below to convert the reward to standard XP. So reward stars to XP conversion table, converting reward stars to XP Pathfinder, okay, converting them, that's why there's so many tables here, converting it to a 5th edition. So for instance, level or CR 5, I suppose if you want, okay, I guess this is telling you if you want slow, average, or fast advancement of the characters. In addition to different methods of determining rewards, gaming groups tend to have different theories as to how rapidly characters should level up. Slow, average, and fast tracks are shown here, which scale to the corresponding character advancement experience points totals in the Pathfinder Core Book and Dungeon Master's Guide. So slow advancement requires 15 reward stars to advance. Average is 10 per level. Only 5 reward stars are needed to advance according to the fast track. So this is Pathfinder 2nd edition right here. Reward stars to OSR. Converting reward stars to XP in Dungeon Crawl Classics. So, all right. Some veteran GMs might read this with slight amusement, shake their head, and discard it, moving on with their lives. If that's the case, I hope this has served as an interesting diversion. Novice GMs who wish to run Infinite Game Studios in particular may see some value in this approach. In truth, it was written primarily for GMs who have been seeking a means of semi-formalizing a reward system for innocents who not just slaying dragons, looting corpses, but in-character behavior, thoughtful reminders, and generally speaking, a good time. So the total goal of having an adventure what is this? I guess this is some of our stats here. James says, I don't like the candy thing. It feels a bit coercive, and real-world action shouldn't affect in-game outcomes. Yeah, like going to get the pizza. Also, immediately labeling people who don't like it as rules lawyers is poisoning the well. It's perfectly reasonable to not like a specific system. The Last Phoenix is concurring. Chase Street says, yeah, there's second edition Pathfinder. There's the second E Pathfinder table too. So yeah, that's probably why a lot of this book may be so thick, is because we got to have tables for all these different systems. Now, I agree with this. I mean, the idea of just tossing something to a particular player instead of you got 375 XP, and then the players start to calculate how that adds to their 10,000 or 1,030 XP after the encounter has its value. Yeah, like, but you could do that with anything. Like, you could do that with poker chips or something like that. Just toss a poker chip to somebody when something happens that they should get credit for. Look it up later. I mean, or add it all up later. I agree with that. So what is a quadded stat block? Okay, and the next thing is the quick start guide. Oh, it says play a solo game immediately. Okay, so that's where we're going here. Quadded stat blocks. Toward the goal of having an adventure that can be run with PCs of varying levels, all NPCs and monsters in this adventure have four separate sets of statistics. This one right here, this symbol here, represents iterations of the creature in four distinct scales of challenge. These scales are referred to in ascending difficulty, such as low, moderate, advanced, and elite. Okay, the gray crossed swords, low-level statistics are the default and intended for parties of 1 to 4th level PCs. Typically, the low CR of a creature will be in the range of a fraction up to 4. You may see this referred to as 1L. Moderate is here in blue, a bit more challenges and are challenging and meant for 5th to 8th level PCs. CRs can be in the range for 4 to 10, so you might see this as 2M. Advanced is for 10 to 15. Elite monsters and NPCs are the most evolved, and these present formidable difficulty in the 12 to 20 CR range. So, for example, here is understanding our stat block. Skill challenges and checks, traps, poisons, and obstacles sometimes have a quadded stat block as well. Although nearly all NPCs and monsters have quadded stat blocks, not all other game elements do. This is intentional. It represents the reality that although monsters and people might be of advanced difficulty, the city of Burning Corte exists in a typical average fantasy realm, DC 50 mythic. So DC 50 mythic caliber locks simply don't exist, let alone on every door in town. Below is an example of a door that has quadded challenge block. The icons represent the scale of increasing difficulty from top to bottom. They are low, moderate, advanced, and elite. So this is a locked secret wooden door, and it's giving us 4 different quads. So this is our low, moderate, advanced, and elite. 5 inches thick, hardness 5, HP 60, perception. So perception check, I guess, is going up 16, 20, 22, 24. Break DC 20, 24, 26, 28. Disabled device is 18, 22, 24, and 26. Okay, so when we see that, we're supposed to scale to our character level. All right, we got quick starts. This is important. Overall, it isn't terrible, and having a physical object you can toss to players feels great. But for going to the door and getting the pizza guy, nah. Not a fan of in-real-life actions affecting the game world either. So we seem to be against that here. Okay, introduction. All right, play a solo game immediately. So what are we supposed to do with this? A solo quick start allows you to quickly and easily generate a dynamic, interactive, and interesting dungeon crawl without a DM or GM to direct things. If this works, then sometimes it won't be dinner and a board game, it'll be the role-playing game show. I might have to do some solo playing. I want to play the solo Lord of the Rings game in Strider mode. Strider mode has this. The Lord of the Rings game has the One Ring has that Strider mode. We looked at Strider mode. It's been a long time, but we looked at Strider mode on the morning grind, and it had an oracle and stuff like that. So I was trying to figure out how that works. Might be fun. Okay. The solo quick start guide represents a singular achievement, truly prepless solo play with absolutely zero time to invest up front. Roll up some characters or grab pre-made ones from the solo character compendium and start playing instantly just by rolling a d20. Many prepless GM tools offer expansive and sometimes thoughtful treatises on the nature of game mastering, the role of players versus dungeon masters, and all manners of meta topics related to the game and how it's played. However, most tools fall well short of actually providing a framework that lets you instantly play with zero preparation or further thought of consideration. Solo Quick Start has been developed specifically to do exactly that. Okay, to jump in, you'll need 3 resources. The FlexTale Solo Quick Start Guide. That's this book. If you're already familiar, you're already 1/3 of the way here just reading this. 1 or more PC character sheets. You can roll your own using your favorite approach, or you can even save more time by using the pre-made ones in the solo character compendium for either Pathfinder or 5e. A bestiary of some sort with common fantasy monsters for your rule systems. Most rule systems come with this, a standard bestiary book, part of the commonly bought core package of rule books. You can also use the Aquilay, Bestiary of the Realm Solo Quick Start Edition, which contains quadded stat blocks for all of the monsters in this Quick Start, each ready to play across a variety of PC levels. Then, of course, you need dice, but all you need to drive the adventure itself without the GM or DM is a D20. Well, okay, I guess I could get those out. I know I got characters there, a little bit more light on the subject. We got, I don't really know Pathfinder all that well. We could try Pathfinder. Well, I tell you what, I know 5th edition the best, so let's just go ahead and try a 5e. 5th edition best of what I have handy that this says it supports. So we'll just use it for the sake of expediency this morning. So here, looking at the D&D Essentials Kit, this has, oh wait, does this really not have pre-gen character sheets in it? I wonder if you can use, like, why? Let's see if we can use AD&D. Let's do that. Let's see if we can use AD&D. That way we're not actually in the D&D book. Hang on. I got the intro to AD&D box. So this is one of my favorites anyway. We looked at this. So let's see if we can do it here with the introduction to Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. That sounds suitably hardcore for... Oh. Did it get mashed? You have to fix that. Because... All right, we got characters here. Let's go... We'll go easy. I'll be the human fighter here. I'll be Beldar the Brave. And then look right here. It says we need a bestiary. So look, it comes with a monster manual. Stargate Mind says, I've learned so much by watching these, not having a character sheets like a bad script in Hollywood, LOL. Well, you're very welcome. I'm glad. But yeah, like where were the character sheets in that? Okay, so back to AD&D. All right, so we got everything that we need. The only other thing we need, man. My office is such a wreck. All right, we got dice too. So we got dice, we got a character, we got character. We got monster manual. Let's see here. So, the FlexTale advantage. The enormous benefit of the FlexTale approach is that this book is by no means limited to use in solo play. The GM with any adventuring party can use it to quickly and easily generate an infinite number of different, interesting, engaging, and challenging dungeons. All right, let's see it done. No two the same, and each sided, scaled with the party that is being played with. It's literally as simple as picking up this book, rolling a d20, and seeing what happens next. All right, we got it. I got the d20 right here. In fact, reading this introduction, you've already spent more time than is required to get started. Okay, I can believe it. Let's go then. How to play. In a nutshell, the solo quick start guide works by having your dice rolls dynamically unveil a new dungeon map and populating that map with new adventuring content. To begin with, just roll on the FlexTale 1 quick start map generator on page 28. On page 28. Okay, this is the quick start map generator over here. All right, so we're going to roll on that. Draw the result as the beginning of your dungeon. This is a dungeon room and can be either a hallway or a chamber. Subsequent to that first roll, continue to reveal the dungeon map one at a time and follow the instructions in doing so. The adventure ends when you reveal a staircase, when your entire party is slain, or because this is solo play, whenever you feel like it. Revealing the dungeon. Each time you roll in the map generator table to reveal more of the dungeon than you have not explored, add the room you roll against the room you're entering it from. Room placement. So we got some symbols here. The map shapes are shown with connecting point at the bottom. You do not get to choose how to insert the newly revealed room. For instance, let's say you roll a starting room that is a T, left-right T hallway. You choose to travel to the east or to the right. You roll a left-right T chamber. The left-right T chamber is inserted to your map with its bottom, the middle of the T, connecting to the existing known room at the entry point. The examples opposite depict the resulting room segment. Combating nonsensical designs. A general common sense design for solo play is whenever a roll result would simply not make sense or be physically impossible, re-roll that result until it does. So this is our example right over here. For mapping, this includes any situation where a rolled room would not match up to the existing rooms around it. So here, if this is your starting room right here, it's saying down here, if you rolled this shape was rotated 90 degrees this way. So, but you always take the bottom, it said, and put it at the connection. So that's why it was rotated 90 degrees clockwise there. Hey, PH. Family going out. What is Father's Day? Everybody remember that. Just came to check out, but I can't stay. Catch up later. You too. Have a wonderful day. Navigating the dungeon. You may move your party through the dungeon however you like. Each time there's a branch, you may choose which way to go. You can backtrack anytime you like. Each time you traverse known dungeon rooms, you should roll on the appropriate random encounter table every 4 rooms to see if something new occurs. If you encounter a secret, roll a die on Flex Table 12, Quick Start Secret Door. On page 48. Secret rooms reveal additional dungeon rooms. Secrets reveal additional dungeon rooms. Once you've defeated the potential elements of the secret door being hidden, locked, or trapped, place a new room as follows. Choose one of the edges of the room. Choose one of the edges in the room in which you reveal the secret that does not already contain a connection or a potential connection to another room, like a black edge. Change that edge to a hallway and a new room however you normally would. So if there's a secret over here, I guess, north, then you change this into a hallway. Secrets revealed in 4-way rooms when there's no such edges may transport you diagonally. Randomize which direction the secret teleports you in. Safety. Any map that does not initially contain an encounter may be safe to rest in, but then again it may not be. When attempting to rest, roll the encounter table that's appropriate for the room type. FlexTale 2, Quick Start Hallway Encounter, on page 29. or FlexTable 3 Quick Start Chamber Encounter on page 30. Long rest, full rest, and overnight rests, terminology depending on your rule systems, require rolling twice on this table to ensure safety for an extended period. You can hand draw your map, or you can use one of the solo adventuring toolkit resources published by Infinium. I guess this is Infinium Game Studio. Some resources are even provided in this tome. Either print them out and use your own personal gaming, or draw in if you purchased a physical hard copy of this book. Okay, so I want to try it. A solo adventure is a straightforward yet dynamic and ever-changing dungeon crawl. You can imagine your adventuring party is in a cavern underneath a mountain, deep in a thickly enchanted wood, or really any setting. Okay, we've got notes on advantage and disadvantage. We've got notes on difficulty classes, simulating enemy combat. Flex AI is a much larger topic and introduces a huge range of complex yet easy-to-use mechanics to guide through creature behavior in an encounter. For quick start purposes, though, it's best to keep it simple and easy. Simple AI rules assume most common circumstances of the creature involved in a combat environment and the status of its participants. So much of the time, a single table result will provide a rich dynamic result. A single dice roll, the fact that it's D20 as opposed to D100, and the fact there's a single table does not have to be looked up, and indeed whose contents could even be memorized, all make using the simple AI approach very easy to integrate. Okay, so simple AI outcomes. It should be noted the entire purpose of the design behind the Flex AI concept is intended to account for more nuanced, contextually appropriate pool of results. An elder dragon at full health should simply not behave anything similar to a lurking thief hiding in the shadows. The simple AI approach cannot take this into account. Simple AI outcome table. Use the following table to quickly and easily determine the combat action a creature takes. D20 roll, 1 to 20, main attack. 13 to 14, secondary attack. 15, maneuver. 16, use an item or defend. 17 to 19, use an ability. 20, flee. Simple AI targeting. Use the following table to quickly and easily determine the targeting behavior of a creature in combat. I guess this is who that one's attacking. Front line, rear guard, closest, farthest, strongest, weakest, ranged enemy, or melee enemy. We do have scaling quadded stat blocks for solo play. All right. Quick reference. I think that something like... we could roll for this. We'll have to see how that works, like the enemy AI. But on the other hand, I still really want to play some more Gloomhaven. Doesn't like Gloomhaven work better? Or even something like, there are some cards in Gloomhaven for enemy AI, but Monster Kingdom Death. Also need to look at that. So quick reference, we got all these symbols here: map, rooms, hallways, chambers, dead ends, traps, difficulty class, afflictions, poisons, diseases, curses, obstacles, secrets, treasure, low coin, medium coin, high coin, low gems, medium gems, high gems, potions, mundane items, armor, weapons, combat encounters, beneficial spells, damaging spells. Okay, so this is the quick start generator. It did say, okay, just roll on this and get started, right? Okay, quick start map generator. Blue, use context A. By default, for an ordinary level of challenge, if no other context describes or applies to the situation. Green, use context B if the party and its allies have advanced abilities related to their level of the dungeon. So if they're of an advanced ability, because this will give an additional challenge. Use context C, this line right here, if the party and its allies are of reduced abilities relative to their level and the dungeon. For less challenge, that means. Use context D if you wish for an advanced level of difficulty regardless of the player's abilities, or to introduce a bit of bad luck to the proceedings. Okay, so I've got... Okay, so I've got all of these possible outcomes right here. So this is roll again, but this is straight hall, straight chamber, L right hall, L right chamber. So I guess this is, you can see it, right? Yeah. So I guess this is an abstraction, intended to be an abstraction here. Because that way all of your geomorphs fit together. So, it doesn't necessarily mean, I suppose, that this has a little hallway here. It's just telling you there's an exit on this side. So this could be a chamber and where the exits are. 4-way hall, 4-way with a chamber, a dead end, and a chamber. And remember, we're going to rotate this. So this is like the dead end in a chamber. If you walk into it, that's going to be rotated the direction that you walk in. Roll again with treasure. Roll again with threat. All right, so I walk in on a 6. We'll just use our default context A. So that actually tells me that it's that T. So I'm walking into a T left, right hall chamber. I guess, whoa. I guess I also need a piece of paper to do my mapping on. I have not. Sable, the last Phoenix asked, have I played Kingdom Death yet? I have not. I have never played it. I think I can play it solo, so that might be a solo gaming. Hopefully we'll do some solo gaming this Friday again, this coming Friday. I just have not. I've got stuff everywhere, and then also I just haven't really been in the mood. But I would like to. Sapphire Ridge says deep system. It is a deep system, this we're looking at here. I mean, I figured when I pulled out this 600-page book that it was going to be. So Beldar, it says, walks into my first tile, which is something like this. That T. Quick start hallway generator. So am I supposed to roll over there as well? Let's see. Is this? Let's see what else is. Quick start chamber encounter. Okay, this is quick start hallway encounter over here. Quick start chamber encounter over here. Quick start dead end encounter generator. Quick start trap generator. Okay, lots of trap generation stuff. Quick start difficulty class generator. Quick start affiliation generator. Quick start poison generator. Quick start disease generator. Quick start curse generator. Quick start obstacle generator. Quick start secret door generator. Okay, there's a lot here. Quick start quick start treasure generator. Quick start low coin generator. Quick start medium coin generator. Quick start high coin generator. Quick start low gem generator, medium gem generator, high gem generator. Okay, potion generator. I'm feeling like this needs to be in a. I feel like we need to get a Python script after this. To me, that seems like a better, like if this is the way, if this is a good system, it seems like if this were put into Python, it could roll on all of these things and generate all of this for you. Yeah, Sapphire Ridge says real assist for random tables. Yeah. Quick start armor generator. Quick start weapon generator. I feel like you're going to be spending a lot of time in this book, though. Quick start combat encounter generator. Quick start beneficial spell generator. Quick start damaging spell generator. Okay, that's the quick start. Okay, but that didn't. I feel like it said a lot to, or used a lot of words to not say exactly. Did I miss navigating the dungeon, secrets, safety, mapping? I suppose what I was supposed to do is roll. So it sounds like maybe generate the room and then also the encounter. Let's see if that's what I was supposed to do. So I got Beldar here, who's now standing here in this room. So, but this is a hallway, right? This is a left-right hall. So I'm supposed to generate what's inside this hall. I'm assuming. So we'll use context A here. I rolled a 19, which means combat encounter. Well, yeah, or right. The Last Phoenix says I'd write it in JavaScript, but yeah, it seems a better way than flipping through the book all the time. I agree. Because yeah, I have to think about that, because it seems like we want to be able to play with no prep, but we also want it to make sense, and we also want there to be some type of structure, I think. Although it doesn't have to make a terrible amount of sense. People are doing random dungeon generations and things like that all the time. So I got that when I entered in here, I'm going to have a combat encounter. So what do I do now? Quick start chamber encounter, dead end generator, trap generator. So where is my quick start difficulty class generator? Is that my combat generator? How do I, or do I need it? Did I see monster generator? How do I generate my combat encounter? Is there an example of this someplace? Or am I supposed to just generate a combat encounter based on like here's my monster manual. Am I supposed to just generate, am I supposed to have like a dungeon combat encounter that's for AD&D or something? Because I don't see that here. Well, the next chapter is about solo play. But that's not solo encounters and quests. Maybe this is when I was supposed to generate a combat encounter, come over here or something. I think there's a lot here. I was kind of afraid when I got this. When it showed up, I was like, oh my God, this looks huge and potentially cumbersome. I wish there were a more elegant way to do this. So, solo encounters. That is to say, this whole section can be summarized by saying, do as you normally would do. That is to say, generate or use predefined encounters as you normally would in a traditional gaming context. So I guess that does mean to say that what I'm supposed to do is... Did it say that I needed one of those? What did it say that I needed to start with? I need the quick start guide. So that's what we're dealing with right here. I need PCs. And then I need a bestiary of some sort with common fantasy monsters for your rule system. It doesn't specifically say encounter tables, though. It just says that I'm supposed to have the bestiary. So I thought that meant that like it was going to tell me, hey, look, there's skeletons or something. And so I need to have the bestiary of, the D&D monster manual here in order to have their stats. Huh. But maybe I misunderstood. Maybe encounter tables or something you're supposed to have. So anyway. So wait, so I was just looking here. Wait, so this is... I was looking for solo encounters. This is all kinds of stuff about solo play. See, it says like right here, how to use the solo action toolkit. To be fair, if I've done my job properly, this section shouldn't even be necessary. You should be able to pick up this book almost to any arbitrary page and jump right into adventuring. If that's your desire, then flip back to the quick start. But that didn't quite work. If you were interested in a bit more discussion on how to and when to use the FlexTale Soloing Adventuring Toolkit, read on. Well, I kind of know when to use it. Discussion on solo play. Solo play approaches. What to play? Universal solo play techniques. So the quick start was all about, I guess, how to generate a dungeon. What's this section? Solo encounters and quests. Was that where I was trying to look? So solo encounters. Oh yeah, this is where it says, this section can be summarized by saying, do what you normally would. The only wrinkles which this section does try to add value in tackling are twofold. How to simulate monster behavior in combat, and how to generate new encounters that are appropriate for my level of capability. Combat mechanics. This part's easy. Use the rules for your game of choice to resolve combat. There's no reason these should differ simply because you're playing a solo game. Okay, dynamic encounters. So I guess that's what we were trying to generate here, because it says dynamic encounters simply means an encounter whose composition is determined on the fly or as you are playing. Most random encounters or wandering monster situations are dynamic encounters because they're not predefined as occurring on a particular location. Most published adventures beyond a certain size and scale of play will include at least one random encounter table. If you're looking for something a lot more comprehensive, the FlexTale Encounter Generator contains more tables than you could ever care to use to dynamically generate adventure content. Okay, so I need that. I was supposed to have a combat encounter, so the FlexTale Encounter Generator. Where is that? Yeah, so the last Phoenix says, I imagine after using it a few times, you'd get a couple of bookmarks and can use it quickly to generate stuff. Yeah, this would end up with a lot of bookmarks, I think, and also like tags, like sticky note tags and things like that. There's an amazing new battle sim using Java, and it's open source. Did not know that. Okay, so how does this do? FlexTale Encounter Generator. Is that in the table of contents? So that sounds like what I need. Environmental encounter tables. Maybe that's it. In FlexTale Encounter Generator. On page 5. It doesn't give me a page number, but like 532. Environment encounter tables. Okay, type of environment. So, overview. Random encounter tables as a general concept tend to be a love-hate thing. Some players and GMs use them as an essential tool to build out story and dictate a dynamic and ever-changing plot. Others submit occasionally the notion as a dynamic and interesting approach to creating random encounter tables. At its core, this section is about dedicating a separate random encounter table to each type of landscape one might travel through when moving about the game world in macro, that is, days of travel as opposed to minutes or hours. There's an element of goes beyond what most tabletop RPGs emulate. So there are 3 general types of encounters, but this doesn't say, well, maybe it does. Type of environment. We got Badlands, Desert, Farmland, Forest, Pine, Grassland. It says included, so some of these you might have to make up. It says some of these are included. Marsh, mountain, plain, rocky waste, savanna, scrub, snow, tundra, volcanic, wasteland, coastal, lake, river. Does this include like dungeons? Dungeons in these environments? Combat encounters, it says down here. There are things, these are most like what you're expecting. 1 to 4 kobolds, flee from D2 wyverns, that sort of thing. Event encounters. Special event encounters are meant to feel special or interesting. They're not necessarily set pieces. They have a feel of being more than just random encounter results. Quirk encounters. Less dangerous than a combat encounter and less meaningful and significant than an event encounter. Are an interesting and flavorful dressing that liven things up on the road in a manner suiting the environment you're traveling through. Quirk encounters can be atmospheric, thematic, or even meteorological in nature, but all serve a similar purpose. Make things interesting and instill a sense of foreboding and tension in what might otherwise be a humdrum point-to-point transit. Also, no result. No encounter, rest safely. No encounter, pass safely. No encounter, rising tension. Rising tension. Event encounters. I would like to hear from somebody who has been using this effectively. So what is, so this is event encounters. How do I, like, I've got dragonfly by here and giant patrol and avalanche. Missing townsfolk, nomadic quest. I thought this was going to be telling me what type of monsters that Beldar just encountered in this dungeon. Hold on, I got to pause my syncing again. So, So lots of tables for some things, but not for other things. Cave in. Creepy runes, Fey curiosity. So where's, so like forest. Okay, so here I was going to say, where is like an encounter table? So if I'm in a forest here, use context A. That implies in all circumstances. That's the general one. Context B over here for an emphasis on combat encounters. Use C for an emphasis on event encounters, and use D for emphasis on safe transit, but still with a bit of potential intrigue. So this tells me, where'd my die go? 5. 5 in general. Subtract 1d4 hit dice. What does that mean? Subtract 1d4 hit dice. I got to come up with, like, is that doing damage? Or subtracting it from some other encounter? See, this does tell me like 1d6 dire wolves, 2d6 assassin vines, 1d6 giant wasps, 2d4 opportunistic bandits, grassland, jungle, mountain, lake, river. So it doesn't, So it did say, when it was saying, hey, here we break this down into 20 different types of terrain. But that didn't mean that it provided you would think that with a book of this size, that all types of different landscapes that it included here would actually have tables in the book. But it doesn't. Lake, river, mountain, jungle, grassland, and forest are included, but the others are not. Appendix quick start map templates, solo quick start design templates. Here is Flex AI. Flex AI is an attempt to model and simulate monster and NPC behavior in a combat encounter. It scales in complexity from very simple to as complex as you as the GM would like it to be. You can use any tabletop role-playing game with 0 prep time. This didn't seem like it was zero prep time. It didn't seem like this was zero prep time. If you also got to find encounter tables like dungeon encounter tables, and there are other encounter tables here that are not in this book that for environments. What year did this come out? 2021. A lot of answers, but a lot of turning pages. A lot of stuff that I'm not yet sure what to do with. I guess a lot of this was some of the stuff in the middle here is about adjusting your own characters for solo play. So Flex AI, that was started with the simple idea over here. Simple AI rules. Single die roll for simple AI outcomes. We looked at that, and then simple AI targeting. Full AI rules. Well, let's see what that is. This is the heart of Flex AI and its power to provide contextually appropriate combat actions. Instead of traditional tables, you use Flex tables. And instead of using the same table regardless of what's going on, you intelligently select the appropriate Flex table based on the nature of the creature involved and the battlefield circumstances. In short, the concepts of outcome and targeting still apply. It's just a matter of how they are determined. Let's see. We've got combat roles. So this tells you, so this is what it was talking about, like how it behaves. So we've got roles here: brute, soldier, artillery, skirmisher, lurker, controller, and leader. And then combat role variations include normal, minion, elite, solo, or mindless. Well, this is the product of 30 years of development. So, and then combat stances: ambushing, unprepared, fresh, bloodied. Roll cornered, also cornered, overwhelmed, relentless, and mindless. So it's going, I guess that, I mean, that sounds interesting. So perhaps what the creature will do is going to be influenced by its role variation, and its combat stance. Appendix AI Flex tables. So a brute. Okay, so all right. So it's not like, so here's what we're doing here. So this right here would be a brute that is fresh. So I guess this is our symbols: brute, fresh, and he's a normal brute. We've got once again A, B, C, and D categories. This is a D100 table. So this is our action table, and then here is our targeting table down here. So I guess attack main, attack secondary, maneuver, use defend, use an ability, attack AM, I don't know what that is, minor surge, use an item, major surge, minor lull. And then what they are attacking here: front line, rear guard, closest, farthest, strongest, weakest, ranged enemy, melee enemy. Soldier who is fresh. Artillery who is fresh. Skirmisher who is fresh. It does seem like it would be more elegant if, so yeah, I mean, this is a lot of tables. It's like It kind of reminds me of Roll Master in that regard. Controller, fresh. Leader, fresh. Well, no, wait a minute. So that doesn't tell me, like, what do you do if they're bloodied? So this tells me about their, so this tells me what happens if they're fresh. I was expecting to, oddly enough, I'm expecting to see more tables. So did it tell me, like, what if I've got their stances over here. So let's say we were looking at fresh, but what if they are overwhelmed? Overwhelmed creatures are fighting against significant odds in some combination of capability and or simple numbers. Many creatures turn desperate or frightened when overwhelmed. Some turn into brutal and vicious combat machines when facing bad odds. A single kobold facing 6 PCs is overwhelmed. Okay, so how do I apply these stances? It says a haughty noble fresh from a good night's sleep and at maximum hit points will behave very differently than the same noble over prolonged combat, suffering from exhaustion and bloody from multiple wounds. A creature's combat stance is an assessment of its current fighting circumstances. This context can and will change throughout the fight and allows Flex AI to differentiate the changing behavior of a creature in response to the situation at hand. There are 8 fundamental stances. The full edition of Flex AI contains a separate flex table for each distinct combination of role and stance. Well, so that's not in here? So I guess it's not. It seems like, does it have fresh prints? So I guess actually in solo play, the color dice might be important as well as any rolls. That would make charts more elegant. Yeah, you could do that too. So I guess actually I feel like, how is it possible that you get this gigantic adventuring solo toolkit and I still feel like I'm missing a bunch of tables here? Because it does say the full edition of Flex AI contains a separate flex table for each distinct combination of role and stance. With 35 roles and 8 stances, this makes for a grand total of 280 flex tables, which is a lot. I mean, okay, admittedly, but that would be half this book. Each one designed for a unique combination of a creature behavior and its current circumstances. So I guess it's something else you've got to buy. Let's just look. Let me just look this up. Let me just see. Flex AI, full edition Flex AI. Okay, it does say Flex AI, system neutral. Check out this optional but hugely useful digital resource companion, which contains all 860 tables and tens of thousands of results in Excel files for use during gameplay. Flex AI is an attempt to model and simulate monster and NPC behavior in combat and social encounters. It scales in complexity from very simple to as complex as the GM would like it to be. It can be used in any tabletop role-playing game with 0 preparation time. 0 preparation time, it still feels like it takes a lot of game time. But maybe by the time you get it all bookmarked and everything, it's fast. It seems like the thing that needs to be built into non-combat. Oh, because, okay, so why is it then 860 tables? Because this is telling me things like, okay, this is saying that, like, this is an elite brute who is cornered. How does an elite brute who is cornered operate? How does an elite brute who is overwhelmed operate? Okay, but the non-combat encounter table would be something like an acquaintance, a normal acquaintance who is passing by, or a acquaintance normal in combat. Lots of tables. If it's not the next page, or those only the that's only the fresh ones. So yeah, so we went through. So it looks like this is what they would look like, but that's brute, fresh, and they're all normal. So brute, because we said we should have 3 different things that go together to create how they're going to act. Their role: brute, soldier, artillery, skirmisher, lurker, controller, or leader. And then their variant which can be normal, minion, elite, solo, or mindless. So you could have a mindless brute, a mindless soldier, mindless artillery, mindless controller. And then also what their combat stance is, which is ambushing, unprepared, fresh, bloodied, cornered, overwhelmed, relentless, or mindless. So the examples here are only brute, fresh, normal. So that's the symbol for, I can't see here. This right here is the symbol for normal. And then soldier, fresh over here. Artillery, fresh. Lurker, fresh. Controller, fresh. Leader, fresh. And then that's it. So this is not the complete system. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of missing content. Yeah, I'm disappointed a bit. I hate to say it, because I thought it was going to give me some really cool dungeon. I was like, quick start guide. All right, let me get out Beldar right here. All right, we'll be using the monster manual. And I thought that I was going to be able to sit here and play at least a couple of rooms in a dungeon and have it give me something really cool. But it did not. So at least we know what it is now. I mean, it's a big honking book, but apparently, I guess it was mainly we need encounter tables. Like I was expecting it to at least say something like you encounter, a normal minion or something, and that'd be like, oh, so like a skeleton. I don't know. I want to put this up so that I don't, with everything as disastrous as this room currently is, I don't want to lose components on this die. So I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do. But okay, later, if I can do more work in the morning, we'll try out the Rivers of London solo play. Yeah, it was interesting to look through. I'm glad that it's been sitting over there on the shelf for a while, because when it came in, I was like, oh my God, that's going to be a lot to get into. And it is a lot to get into. It's just different from what I thought it was going to be. All right. Well, I guess we will wrap this up for now. I will see everybody tomorrow morning. Everybody, I'm going to try to, I say this every time, I'm going to try to do work here. I'm feeling pretty good, though. It's been great hanging out with you this morning, which is always why I do this. So everybody, please do go be productive and be creative. And until I see you tomorrow, grind on.